Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. I'm Aidan Squire, I'm your meeting chairman. My job to get you through the agenda. I am, as always, ably assisted by my leadership team. Please be upstanding, leadership team, and introduce yourselves to the
meeting. Good morning, everybody. I'm Terry. I deal with membership and recruitment.
Morning, guys. Ben Golding, Education Coordinator.
Morning, all. I'm Scott, the meeting secretary, and also the handsome face of Live Chat.
I'm Vincent. I'm Vincent. I chair the membership committee, and I also am the official timekeeper.
Yeah, you'll get to play with it later.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the bell. May I today welcome two visitors. Stephen Holroyd is back, and we've got Bradley Jones here. You'll hear from both of them within 60 seconds of what they do at the end of the regular members' contributions. But welcome, and I hope you both enjoy the meeting. Right. That signals that we should be getting on with the meeting as such. What do we do first? Well, first of all, we have a performance league, and Scott will tell us how we're going on that.
Oh, okay. So, yes, good morning again, everyone. Performance League, for the benefit of the guests, quick explanation. We reset every month, and members score points for doing things as easy as turning up, giving and receiving business, converting those referral opportunities into done business, commenting on our blog, having a one-to-one get-together to learn more about each other's business, loads and loads of different ways of scoring points, and it's in a league. So, today is the last meeting in the month of June. Let me tell you where it stands as of today. 3 members have topped 100 points, so well done to those 3. In third place, 119 points is myself. 125 points from Mr. Howard Bullock, put you in second place, well done. But the current leader, 147, is Terry.
Thank you, Scott. Well done, Terry. Just a reminder to everybody, if you pass something in this meeting that you want to go in this month, you'll have to get it electronically dealt with later on in the day, because it's the last day of the month. Right, education slot. Ben, take it away.
Thank you very much. Well, today, I'm not going to waste any time and get straight on to introducing today's speaker, because today we have the lovely Auntie Jane. So Jane, over to you.
Thank you very much. Right, bit of audience participation today. So there's something called sleight of mouth. Oh. Because we don't all have the same thinking processes. And if you can talk in a way that appeals to everybody, not just your thinking process, that's even better, more powerful. So I'm going to do a little questionnaire and you're going to place your votes for it. So the first one is about convincer strategy. I'll explain. It's a trait. It's called a meta program, your convincer strategy. So if you had, let's say you've had a gardener to come in, and the first time he's there, he does a really good job. Are you convinced that this is the right gardener for you? Or do you need to see a second time? Or do you actually need to see several months worth? So the placing of votes is, this is, first time, he's really good, that'll do me, I've made the right decision. No, I need to see a few more. No, I'm not convinced for a long time. Place your votes, please. Oh, quite a lot of middle, all mid-loons. Up here, nobody's right down there. So thank you. So you are a first-time convincer. Now you're easier to sell to. And I am good, my husband's that. Well, they were good for the last 47 times, but next time they might slip up. So, yeah, it's just to be aware of convincer strategy. I'm going to try another one on you. All right. You're telling a story. You're trying to get something across, the gist of something to people. Are you a micro detail person, or are you just the gist of it, or somewhere in between? The gist of it will be up here. The broad stroke, give me the gist. No, you need some detail. No, you need to know all the detail. So place your bets, please. Oh, quite a lot here. A few there. Nobody's micro detail, which is worrying when the accountant isn't. Very good. And I'll throw one more at you. And this is just really showing us that we don't all think exactly the same. It would be very strange if the whole group did. Also, it might look very strange if we're all on the group doing this. But there you are. It's last one. Towards and away from. So these are like, it's like a sliding scale, really, for this trait. So towards people are very goal-oriented. If they wanted to lose weight for that occasion to fit their suit better, they probably worked out, if I lose a pound this week, that week, and that will do it. Goals. Set the goals, set the parameters, off they go. Or you might be motivated by what would happen if you don't do something. If you don't do it, you're motivated by, oh heck, what will happen if I haven't lost the weight to fit the suit, or I haven't achieved that thing that I want, and it doesn't have any weight. So if you are a towards person, you're goal-oriented, you're up here. If you are away from, you're motivated by what happens if you don't do the thing, you're down here. Place your bets, please.
What do I do if I just go and buy new suit?
Yeah. So there's a few towards people, and in fact more than there are away from people. So thank you very much. So sleight of mouth would be to emphasise both what would happen if you do this, but what would happen if you don't do this. And one suggestion is, what would happen in the world if your services did not exist? That's just switching it round, because not many of you were away from, but it's another food for thought if there were no people helping with insolvency or, and so on. So that's today's food for thought about sleight of mouth and trying to appeal to the whole audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jane. Well done. Membership matters. Terry, do we have anything to report for the meeting?
Yeah, good morning again, everybody. Just briefly, for those of you who don't recall, when your membership comes up for renewal, there is a process whereby the membership committee, led by Vince, ask the committee what they think of it. They ask the members some questions. They ask the member whether they want to renew. And I'm pleased to announce that, having followed that process, Matt Barry is renewed for another year, which is good for a young man driving his business forward and he's an important member. So not here today, but
Couldn't things ask that event this morning, though.
exactly. That's the membership.
So excited about it.
You knew it was in.
Thanks very much, Terry. Right, this is the time when I pass around the business card box. You all know what to do. Check that you're adequately represented in the cards and take cards to enable you to make introductions. So I'll pass that round. Whilst that's going round, talking about rounds, 60-second round is upon us. First major part of the meeting, your chance to highlight your business to the members, give them something to catch on to for making referrals during the week. Vincent is our timekeeper to make sure you only do it in 60 seconds. After 50 seconds you'll hear that, and after 60 seconds you will hear... Anybody who knows the difference between those two, put it on a postcard and send it to me later. Right, last week, Brian Painter, currently of Tenerife, won the Oscar. In his absence, Howard Borg is judging the Oscar. At the end of the round, he will indicate who this week's winner is. So, let's get underway with the meeting. As usual, we'll let Howard go first, so he's got the rest of the time to assess the Oscar. Howard.
Thank you, Rich. Good morning, everyone. Howard Bullock from Clear Financial Advice, with your financial advice based in Ricky. Last week I was talking about the market being really volatile and a bit of a low, and I had two clients panicking. This is classic behaviour economics. The markets go through cycles of people react to things in different ways. So I was trying to convince those clients, trying to sit and hold tight and not really make any rash decisions. Curiously, they've gone quiet over the last few days. That's because markets have recovered. This is the next phase of behaviour economics, therefore, of a cycle. The market starts to go up, all of a sudden you start to feel helpful, that panic goes, and you think, oh, we're out of the woods now, this is good. But that's equally as dangerous, because are we recovering, or is this just a slight correction, and we're going to carry on going in that downward trajectory? I don't know, and neither does anyone else. So I'm still talking to those clients, not so much to say you've done the right thing, but to try and understand what they're feeling and what they're going through from an emotional point of view. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they are going to panic and run to cash and liquidate, or they're going to stay the course. But my job is to really help them make the correct decision for them. That's not based on emotion, it's based on what's right for them in their situation. Alright, Vincent.
Thank you very much, Howard. Right. Kieran is next, followed by John Freeman.
Morning everyone, Kieran Peaty from Studio 40, the architect for the group, and today I'm going to do something that I don't think I've ever done before. I'm going to invite you to come and take a look at a concept report that we've produced for a full width, double height rear extension in Tunbridge Wells. The existing property has 3 beds, 2 baths and some chaotic living accommodation, which makes life particularly difficult for a young family with a toddler. They're looking to add 2 more bedrooms at first floor level as well as another bathroom, and to open things up at ground floor level. So what we've done, put together some initial thoughts and analysis on the plans. I won't hold it up, I'm sort of drove it, and the elevations as well. We've then put together some options, some layouts to discuss with the clients, some internal 3Ds that interrogated the space so that we can get an idea of what it actually feels like and what it looks like. We then looked at ideas for the form, for the massing, how we can break down the form with materials, and then put together some ideas for the external renders as well. Lots of work in there. Please come and take a look. My name's Kieran Peaty from Studio 40. Thank you.
Thanks, Kieran. John Freeman, followed by Emma Taylor.
Thanks, mate. Morning, everyone. My name's John from the One Stop Property Shop. Me and Brian are going to set up EBF in Tenerife. The last time I was here, I talked about the things you put on the walls. Pictures, TVs, mirrors, clocks, architrave, picture rail, daylight rail, skirt boards, coat boards, cooker hoods, tiles, panelling, cladding, shelving, paint, wall safes, wall lights, light switches, sockets, wall-mounted toilets, wall-mounted basins, shower rails, handrails, whiteboards, blackboards, curtain rail, tracks, blinds, shutters, security grills. I'm going back to Jane's education slot. If I weren't around to do all that, there'd be a lot of stuff not on the walls. So I'm back to Tenerife. I'm here for a couple of months. If you know anyone that wants any of that sort of stuff done, think of me, John from the One Stop Property Shop.
Thank you, John. Emma, you're next, followed by the first of the 3 mics who are assembled today. Let's get it. Emma.
Morning, Emma Taylor from Keller Williams. I have been studying the trends in the market at the moment. A bit like what Howard said, we can't predict exactly what's going to happen, but looking at the trends, we have started to see that the market might be balancing out a little bit now. What we've noticed is that more properties coming onto the market, more properties are also being reduced on a day-to-day basis as well. We're not saying that prices are going to stop increasing, but they possibly will stop increasing as much as they have done and at the rate that they have done. And Rightmove released some figures last week that for the 5th consecutive month we have seen price increases, but only by 0.3% for last month. So where it's going to tell the market at the moment, we're starting to see that slightly balancing out. Less viewings, less offers on properties from 3 to 6 months ago. Obviously with interest rates and cost of living going up as well. If people are looking to sell within the next 12 months, it may be good to have a conversation now to see if that can be brought forward. So, Emma Taylor, Keller Williams.
Thank you very much, Emma. Mike Skinner, followed by Ben.
Good morning, everyone. For the visitors, I create video photography and drone footage for businesses. I'm still on the lookout for people to run entertainment venues of any sort. be it kids or adults, or who are wanting to put out some exciting creative content to draw in new customers or update people on new things that they've got going on with the business. And it's still festival and party season, and whether people are looking for video or stills, I can capture their event in a style that reflects their branding and attitude and sits perfectly into their marketing. Those summer activities aside, I'm always on the lookout for any businesses that need to update their website content or have a new product or service they're looking to make some noise about. And that's Mike at Black Horse Media. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Ben, you're next, followed by James.
Thank you very much. Well, good morning, guys. Ben Golding from Utility Warehouse. Now, when the energy prices first hit, there were lots of energy companies that went bust. They all disappeared, and Bulb, as we know, went into special administration. However, they have now decided they're going to sell. They're going to sell all their customers to the highest bidder. Now, Utility Warehouse, we're not interested in buying customers at all. We want people to come over to us because they get savings, simplicity and service on all of their household essential utilities. So those Bulb customers are now going to go to people like British Gas or E.ON and pay way more than they should be. So this week I'm looking for people you know that want to save money with the UK's most trusted, most awarded and most awarded company and most recommended company, especially Bulb customers. Ben Golding, Utility Warehouse.
I thought you said Bulb washing pad.
Bulb. Right. Thank you very much, Ben. James, you're next, followed by Melissa.
Morning all, James from RMK and BHK Insurance Brokers, general insurance brokers, so we can do pretty much everything. Not everything, as Mike's spoken this morning already, so if you've got a car, unfortunately probably not one of us. I was banging on a few weeks ago about a plumber that had a cheap policy, cheaper than I could do, but wasn't allowed to use any form of heat during his work. It was obviously done pretty much every day. I had a scaffolder this week who had a cheap policy and very happily told me it was cheaper than anything I could do. He sent it to me. He wasn't allowed to put scaffolding higher than 5 metres according to his current policy. He could have just used a ladder, couldn't he, rather than scaffolding. So actually, he is now one of my clients because he sent me across his policy documents and I worked to shreds. So if you've got anybody that does scaffolding, roofers, general builders, anybody that does dangerous stuff, I suppose, even electricians maybe, who knows, send them my way and I can either give them a cheaper quote or I can put them at So James, general insurance broker.
James, thank you very much indeed. Melissa, you're next, followed by Neil.
Good morning all. Melissa Jackson, Penway Francis, experts in insolvency. The pressures on SMEs is increasing post-pandemic. Whilst insolvency numbers have not returned to pre-pandemic levels that we've all known and seen, they are increasing month on month. I deal with administration, which is one of the insolvency procedures. It's a procedure which allows for a company to be sold and business and assets are then sold on to a third party. The company is then liquidated, but the business actually survives. So it's a rescue procedure. In doing that, we do an independent business review. So if you know anybody that is suffering at the moment post-pandemic in their business and would benefit from an independent business review, pass it on to me. Melissa Jackson, Penway Francis.
Thank you, Melissa. Neil, you're followed by the second of our London buses, Mike Roberts.
I'm from an event catering. Bit of a strange week this week. Got called in to do a really large barbecue up in Whittam this weekend that became instantly obvious. We were doing the food for the kids of one branch of the Eastern European Mafia. Really not the most pleasant when I'm a big guy and I'm the smallest adult in the garden. And of course they want to pay cash and would like their 20% discount because they don't want to pay back, which is great. I'm not really going to say no, even though I'm risking VAT fraud. So interesting summer parties coming up, but they were kind enough to leave a Google review. So I'm over the moon. But that has highlighted an issue in any event, because as we rebranded from Peckish over to In Any Event and changed over from Google, we realised that all our Google reviews have been wiped. So we're asking anyone that has used In Any Event catering services over the last year or so, to please pop onto Google, give us a little review and get us going back up the SEO rates. That's Neil from In Any Event Catering. Thank you very much.
And if you get any referrals from him this week, make sure they don't have Eastern European names.
Yes.
Yes. Mike Rogers, you're next, followed by Paul DeMille.
Morning everybody, I'm Mike Rogers. I am a mortgage broker from the Mortgage Store. I arrange mortgages and have been doing so for the last 33 years. Based on that experience, I would happily give you my prediction as to what's going to happen to the housing market over the next year, but I won't because it will take me the rest of my 60 seconds. And what I really want to tell you is that I believe interest rates will increase at least twice more in the second half of this year, and I am now talking to people whose current mortgage deal ends between now and December. I can put a new interest rate in place for them now so that it will slot into place when their current deal ends anywhere between now and December. So I need to talk to those people now. They don't have to wait until they get the letter from their lender saying we're about to bump your payments up by so many £100 a month. They need to be talking to me now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Paul, you're next, followed by Toby.
Good morning, everyone. Paul DeLue, Red Pine Limited. We're a communications consultancy. We help businesses and organisations communicate clearly and effectively. Something I've done a fair bit of over the last few weeks is looking at some policies. Now, not the sort of policies that James does, but the sort of policies that help an organisation work out how things are meant to be done and shape their culture. Now, I'm not talking about the nitty-gritty legal stuff or sort of stuff that Ada might do. It's actually making sure that those policies are understandable to the staff in that organisation. And actually they say the sort of things that they say what the business actually wants them to say. And it's astounding how many businesses have policies that are badly written, that contradict themselves, and that the average person would read through and wouldn't really understand what it is they need to do. So I'm looking for any businesses that want to hand reviewing their policies and procedures, or instructions in fact, because I work with words, I work helping businesses communicate clearly and effectively, and many businesses don't when it comes to policies, procedures and instructions. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Toby, you're next, followed by Terry.
Good morning everybody, Toby Acton, Business Growth and Development Specialist. I'm going to be talking about motivational maps later in my 10 minutes, so I'm not going to talk about it now, but I'm going to let somebody else talk about it because I've got a testimonial to read out. Quite a long one, with the Bishop Theatrist. From Gavin Perrott, who some of you may know. I've known Toby for a number of years now, and I've always found him to be collaborative in spirit, knowledgeable, and a great communicator. Toby recently took me through a motivational mapping process that is designed to help business owners understand the motivational drivers of their employees. I'm sure there are many other benefits, however, this is what we focused on. Once I completed the profile process, Toby then booked me in for a detailed debrief session, which is an eye-opening experience that helped me to understand my own motivational drivers. I'm looking forward to collaborating with Toby by referring our business clients to him for this purpose, as I feel that it can add significant value to them and encourage a more harmonious team energy. I would encourage all business owners, business coaches and HR managers to book a meeting with Toby so they can understand how this model can benefit. So I say that's from Gavin Perrott, who some of you know.
Thank you very much, Toby. That was absolutely bloody exhausting. Terry, you're next, followed by Vincent.
Thanks, Aidan. Yeah, good morning again, everybody. Terry Maiden from TM Law Solicitors. I had a new client contact me about 3 weeks ago. They were building a maintenance company and they had a problem. Someone had been working for him 7 or 8 years and he'd left. He was a subcontractor, self-employed. Unfortunately, he didn't view it as that, and he put in a claim for them for £33,000 for holiday pay that he hadn't had for the last 8 years and pension contributions. Through some deft sleight of hand, I managed to get that down to £2,000 and get my client out of the tribunal claim. But it was skin of the teeth, wasn't it, Aidan, as to whether it was going to a tribunal or not. If it had gone to a tribunal, it would have cost my client a substantial amount of money. If you know any businesses in that situation where they've got staff who they call self-employed, who are really not self-employed, don't play that game. Get us to review their employment contracts, get us to review the subcontractors agreement, and we'll tell you whether they're employees or not. And if they're not, then we'll conclude to Mr. Booth to get them transferred over and do it properly. Terry Malin, TM Law, thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Vincent, you're followed by Tina.
Good morning, everyone. Vincent from Speakprint, based in Gants Hill Village. I just wanted to tell you, I actually phoned a call centre yesterday, and I knew it was going to be a long wait because the voice said, your call is important to us. Please sit back and enjoy the 40-minute flute solo. Now, this is the third book we've done for on children's author Gary Milton. It's a case-bound book. We've printed 100 of them for him. We can do it in any size, a minimum of 32 pages, maximum of anything over 32 pages. And it gives you the opportunity to be very creative. It's a good way of showcasing your products and services as well. So it's not just children's authors. We can appeal to quite a few different people with this product. Is there anything else I want to say? No, there isn't.
Thank you. The virtue is a virtue. You're next, followed by Jane M. Scones, as she signs.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Tina. My company's called Liberty Executive Services. We offer a secretarial and admin services, supporting you as and when you require help with your admin. Now, summer is actually here now, and there's tennis, you've got cricket coming up, and you want to take your clients out, but you don't want to leave your office or you can divert your calls to me. And anybody that calls you, they know that there's someone in the office. It's not closed. So if you know anybody that needs help, pass them my details, because I will be happy to help. So that's me, Tina, Liberty Executive Services. I'm not a 9 to 5. I'm a start to finish.
Thank you very much, Tina. Jane, you're next, followed by the final Mike. Jane,
thank you very much.
Carry on.
Yay. Jane from the English Green Tea Company. I am kind of a hug deliverer. That's my job, really. And I'd like to just point out, we don't just help people celebrate successes and birthdays. We're very good if something horrible has happened. Somebody's had a diagnosis, or had an accident, or they're in hospital, or they've just come out. Because you can't send champagne if somebody's had a really bad session of surgery or the doctor. That doesn't kind of work. And flowers do have a slight funereal thing, terribly sorry about your bad diagnosis. And so we are very good at delivering just the right approach of saying, oh, here's a hug in a box, we're thinking of you, and we wish you all the best. And so if you need hugs in a box delivering, or in a gift tin, so Auntie Jane from the English Green Tea Company, let us do that for you.
Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
Mike Hickson, followed by Scott Griffiths.
Morning, everyone. Mike Hickson from LSA Systems based in Billericay. We started out life developing computer software for businesses that couldn't find a system that met all of their needs. Most systems that come off the shelf will satisfy up to 90% of the requirements, but the other 10%, unless you contact us. That's where we get involved. Even though our business model has changed in the recent past, we still have a number of customers who use our development skills to write new applications, amend existing applications, or simply write an interface between two disparate systems to fully meet the user's requirements. We've developed integrations between HR systems and payment, back-end stock control systems for e-commerce trading, and even developed a complete trading solution to the UK's largest importer of fresh meat. So whether it's corned beef from Fray Bentos, fillet steak from Argentina, or lamb from New Zealand, it's been sold to the retailer on a system developed by LSA Systems. Mike Hickson, LSA Systems.
Thanks, Mike. Scott, you're next, followed by Paul.
Good morning, all. Dr. Scott from SEO, working on all kinds of websites. Those of you who were present at my 10-minute presentation a few weeks back will understand that the success in a website and success on Google is about winning lots and lots of different things, lots of small changes and adjustments. One of those key things is the speed of your websites, and Google will mark how fast your website performs on a grade just like your school report, from an A down to an F. I purchased a new tool this week that is blinking brilliance. I had a one-to-one with John. We looked at his website, which was a C, which is, it's not terrible, but it's not one you go take home and show your mum. We installed this piece of software and it went straight to an A+. 50 quid for you guys is basically the basic license cost for a single user. I won't charge you anything more than that. So if you want it, if you want to go to an A+, quick and easy for me to turn on, speed you up. Simple as that. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Thomas, that will turn us on. We'll all go with that one. Paul, you're next.
Morning, Paul Green from Chartered Certified Accountants based in Brentwood. We've got clients who are around the country, a lot of them are local to us, a lot of them in London. And today I'm looking for new clients who maybe got a really expensive London firm of accountants. If they're getting a good service and they're happy to pay that, then yeah, stay where they are. But if they're getting a very average service but they're still paying big fees, maybe their fees are going up by 20 or 30% a year for no reason at all, then please put them my way and I'm happy to give them a quote and have a good chat with them. That's what we've been doing, so it's a nice tax model.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. Oh, long way up. Aidan Squire from TM Law. One of the things both Terry and I get involved in are settlement agreements. Settlement agreements settle redundancy or unfair dismissal disputes. And they used to be called compromise agreements. Don't know why they changed them. They ensure that an employee gets independent advice before entering into a final settlement with the employer at the employer's expense. Terry and I can act for both employers in preparing such agreements and employees in giving them advice. This week, I acted for an employee who went straight in, straight out. It's only taken us a week and it's all done and dusted. Now you are well placed to provide people for me. Anybody who is settling, who's trying to come to a settlement with his employer, will need that advice. Send them to me or to Terry, Aidan Squire, TM Law. Welcome.
You're ready for next week's meeting.
Late doesn't come into it, but what it's nice to see. These cards are going round from Bradley. Thank you. Now it's those two visitors that we've got who will now give their 60 seconds. Because he's done it before, last week, Stephen, you're up first, and then you'll be followed by Bradley.
Hi, I'm from Connect Drainage. My new website is still new, so it's a little bit slow, but the numbers are coming out, getting more phone calls basically. This week I've had a new contact for a building in Romford. They've got 12 orders total, so hopefully I'm going to get a bit more maintenance out of them. There was stack cleans, urinal cleans, and drainage basically. So hopefully in the next few months my website will start performing a lot better, and end of September, start of October I'll be able to go full time for my company.
Thanks, Stephen. Excellent. Bradley.
Good morning all. My name is Bradley Jones, company's Imperium Group. We're electrical contractors based in Loughton in Essex. We provide ongoing electrical services to housing associations, property managers and estate agents, and we operate in London, Essex and Hertfordshire. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed, Bradley. I was about to close it off there, but of course we have Sarah. give us 60 seconds.
Good morning, everybody. Sarah Steele from Better With Money, providing financial education in the workplace. Now, of course, the cost of living increase is not going away. So if you know any companies who have got employees, which is most of them, that are asking for pay rises to cover the increased cost of bills, and that company cannot afford to give pay rises, then please give them my number, because what we can do is provide a webinar at a very small price compared to giving people pay rises, to help people to understand how they can make their money stretch further. So that's Sarah Steele from Better With Money, providing financial education in the workplace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Right, that is the end of the 60-second round. I hope you're all enjoying it. Particularly Howard. Howard, give us an award.
Thank you, Wanky. Well, James is probably intended because we're like a hug. I want to congratulate Melissa for getting the whole process of registration to one sentence. But this week is going to go to James. So it's not just about the premium, it's the quality of the work that's really important. So well done, James.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Howard, for doing that. Well done, James. Right. What's next? Scott, the meeting secretary's report.
Yes, well, a couple of quick things today. First of all, thank you for those who took part in our little nonsense on the WhatsApp chat. Networking bingo will take place following your contributions of random words that we chuck out during the meeting shortly, in a few weeks or so. So people have supplied a collection of different phrases and words that we use. They're going to go on some random sheets and we'll play that silly game in a few weeks. Thank you also to those of you who have followed our new EBF LinkedIn company page. I'm going to give some bonus points for everybody who likes that, so please do. And then we're going to hand that page across to Hannah, and we're going to use that as our primary channel for social media marketing for EBF as a business. So if you can assist and get us started on that, that would be really appreciated. When I finish, yes, you can. The last thing I will say, then I'll hand to Vince, is when I pass this Performance League grant, it's there for you to look at and for you to notice things that aren't right. So thank you, Mike, for spotting that I missed something, and I can correct those numbers and get rid of your minuses. So if you do spot anything that you're not sure about it, sorry? So yeah, if you spot anything that you're unsure of, if you've got any questions or queries about whatever it says about you on here, do talk to me about it and we can change it. Good, Vince.
Forgot what I was going to say now. No, when you go on, when you look at Essex Business Forum on LinkedIn, there's two other ones that come up.
So there's
a company, I think.
There's
they
a group.
need to be deleted, don't they?
There's a group and there is a company page. The group is an old discussion group on LinkedIn. One of Hannah's tasks will be to migrate people from that old one and then close it down.
Yeah.
So we'll promote the new one, and that will become the primary. That's where our potential visitors and market is at.
That said, today's speaker did go to the website. We have his bio sheet because today we have Mr. Toby Acton. So, business name Sales Master Guild. Currently, but watch this space for updates. Ooh, so, nature of his business is business growth and development. His position in the company is, well, he'd like to think he's in charge, but Donna, his other half, might say otherwise. Business location, bless you. Business location is High Hunger, and anywhere you want to. Shush. It's High Hunger, or anywhere you can drive to, or on Zoom. So a few things about Toby. His prized possession, his new front tooth. He is very attached to this one. A famous person he has met, Prince Charles, and I won't say what he said, but it began with a letter F. And Princess Anne, when Toby said something beginning with the letter F, Princess Anne came to my house once as well.
Did you swear?
Say again.
Did you swear?
No, I didn't. I had to give her a cake. A dish Toby can cook well. Not much, really. Apart from obviously Neil's beef Wellington that he got last week, but maybe fish fingers there. And something we should all avoid, Toby's cooking. With that in mind, please welcome Toby Acton.
Yeah, if anybody wants to know why Chris Charles swore in front of me and I swore in front of Princess Anne. So yes, that's us, EBF. That's me, Toby Acton. Business growth and development. I'm a certified mentor with the Sales Masters Guild. Can you see that? Yeah. I mean, where is that? Look a bit like that. And I'm also now accredited licensed practitioner of motivational maths. What is motivational maths, I hear you ask? What is motivation? Let's start with what is motivation. What is motivation? Any of us? Impetus. Impetus. Anybody else? What is motivation?
The reason for the.
Good. Nice. So, there you go. So it's the reason for acting or behaving in a certain way. And as Jane was mentioning earlier, it can be towards motivation or away motivation. Jane covered that, I don't need to cover it. We did not coordinate. It's why we do what we do. It's totally invisible, we can't see motivation. It's a feeling or an energy, but it's important to understand that the energy sparks an action. So there's a strong link between motivation and performance. So a company will have their direction, that's their business plan, if you like, that's the what. They have skills, which is the how. And a lot of companies, most companies spend time and money, put resources into improving skills, but they don't tend to put time and money and resources into improving motivation because they don't understand it. Motivation is the why bother, if you like, but there's a strong link between skills and motivation. If people are well motivated, then they're more likely to want to learn the skills. If they've got the skills, they're going to be more motivated to work. So, productivity performance is a function of skills and motivation. If your skills are at 7 out of 10 and your motivation's at 6 out of 10, the best productivity you're going to have is 42%. You can increase the skills, but that takes time and money. So you can put that up to 8 out of 10, you get 48% productivity. But it's a lot cheaper and quicker to improve motivation. And even if you've got skills up to 10 out of 10, if your motivation's at 6 out of 10, the best productivity you're going to have is 60%. But you can much faster and much cheaper improve motivation and get these figures up a lot higher. So it's important for us to have a way for companies, for individuals to understand, to measure and improve motivation. That's where motivational maps come in. So it's a combination, it's been put together by a guy called James Sales 15 years ago. Met him when I was looking at this, had lunch with him, complete eccentric genius, fascinated me but totally confused me. But yeah, really great guy. So he's combined Maslow's hierarchy, which a lot of you will be familiar with the Enneagram, which a lot of you won't be familiar with. Anybody ever heard of the Enneagram? Good, because I haven't either. It's a quite ancient mystical tool, quite complex. And that's been put together with Edgar Schein's Career Anchors, which is a tool that's used a lot in recruitment. So all that's gone into motivational maps. So it's an online diagnostic tool, ISO accredited. It's 10 to 15 minutes online to complete it, and you get a 15-page report, and it's incredibly accurate. When I first looked at it, when I had my map done, I was really impressed with how accurate it is. Everybody that I've mapped has been really impressed with the accuracy. And we then have a debrief session. So basically the structure of maps is you've got 3 clusters of 3 each motivators. You've got the relationship cluster, and broadly speaking that is looking at the past. People are focused on the past. The achievement cluster is largely looking at the present, and the growth cluster is looking toward the future. And these are the 9 different motivators. I don't have time to go through these in detail, but you can see they're clustered there. If you want to know more, one-to-one with me. But the important thing is there's no good or bad map. It is just how you are. And you have different levels in each of the different motivators. We'll see in a minute. So in the report, you first of all get a cluster analysis. So that shows whether you're focused on growth, which is the future, achievement, or relationships, which is the past. And then you get a full motivational score. So this is actually a client of mine. This one here is Spirit, so that's about freedom and independence and autonomy. That's what she's driven by. And also Builder, that's about commercial success, financial success, and above average standard of living. Now she's very high in both those. Anything over 30 is what we call a high spike. These must be satisfied. Okay? Anything below a 10 is an inverse spike, and this is it can actually be a demotivator. People are really not interested in that, they can actually be turned off by it. The interesting thing about this girl is Spirits and Builder were very high for her. She wasn't well satisfied in either of those. And I knew exactly why it was as soon as I saw her map, because she's just getting premises and staff for the first time. So the finance, she's like, oh, how am I going to pay for all this? And also she's suddenly losing all her independence. She's got to be in the office every day. She's got to make decisions for others. So this is quite a high range. It's a range of 28. So these have to be satisfied for her. Other people have a much flatter range. I met somebody recently and they were, I think, only 6 in their range, which means that they're more easily satisfied, but it also means that they can be more indecisive because they're not pushed in a certain direction. Mike Prentice and Josh Jordan forgot his name now. Paul. That's one. Yeah, I never get He tends to be younger people have a flatter range because they're not so jaded by life and stuck in old ways as us. So yeah, it's really interesting to see different profiles, different ranges. So in the report you get a narrative on the top motivator, the second motivator and the third, but also on your lowest motivators. It's important to understand what you might be demotivated by and why other people might differ from you and why you might have some conflict or discourse with people. So somebody's a very high defender and your low defender's about security and stability and they don't like change. So you need to understand that. We then have a debrief session. That's me debriefing one of my clients, who some of you know, Kevin Phillips. So we can do it online and we can do it face to face. That's not me, much more handsome, much more hair, probably less stomach as well. So we can do it face to face or online. And in the debrief session, I'm able to explain to people how well satisfied they are in each of those motivators. So like I said, that range that I showed before wasn't well satisfied in the high motivators. So then we can put together a motivation action plan, give people strategies and actions for actually improving their motivation. This isn't just a report you stick and draw. It's designed to enact real change. So a lot of companies, they'll actually map people at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. And there are a couple of companies, unfortunately not my clients, who are mapping people every quarter. So they're going through rapid growth and rapid change. So we want to really make change, we want to measure that change and see what's happening going forward. Those are the benefits of motivational maps, help people make better life decisions, career decisions, maximise motivation, really understand themselves and understand others, improve soft skills, leadership skills. But where maps really come into their own are when you put it together into a team motivational map. So we take the individual motivational maps and put it together. What's highlighted here are the top motivator, second and third motivators, and also the lowest. We get an overall team motivation score. This one's at 60%. And we also get a change index score, which is out of 100, which is an indication of how likely the team is willing to change. But the interesting thing about this, 60%, the ones I've highlighted here, are the individual motivation scores in the top three motivators that are below 60%. So effectively, they are dragging the other people down, or they're dragging the overall team motivation down. So these are the ones where we need to take action. You've got somebody here that's only 20% motivated in their top motivator, which is spirit. So they're not getting the freedom and the autonomy that they want. You've got somebody else here who's only 10% motivated in their second motivator, which is defender. So they're not getting the security and the stability. So we can take action, we can talk to the managers and say this is what needs to happen, these are the strategies for improving that person's motivation in those areas. So we can boost up the overall team motivation score. So that's where team motivational maps are really, really valuable. This is a great example, a real world example of a map that was done for a team within HSBC Bank actually. Ignore Nigel at the top for a minute, you can see that it's a very high defender team. First, second and third motivators for practically everybody. That means they want security, they want stability, they don't like change. Change is okay as long as it's well communicated and well structured. But look, none of them wanted to be in charge. The lowest motivator is director. So nobody wanted to actually be in control of it. So they brought in Nigel. Nigel, luckily he wants to be in charge. He was high from director, but very high creative. He wanted to change everything. He wanted to innovate. He was a low defender. He didn't want things to stay the same. You can imagine with a high defender team, that was like chucking a hand grenade. Absolute disaster. Now what should have happened is they should have mapped the team beforehand. See, it's shown that it was a high defender team. Either got somebody different from Nigel, or say to him, look, this team, if you want to bring in change, it's got to be introduced gradually, it's got to be well communicated, well planned and well structured. So that's why these are really useful for HR managers, for recruitment consultants, and HR consultants. So these are the benefits of motivational maps for teams: productivity, performance, recruitment and retention, reward strategies. Not everybody's motivated by money, helping the team to understand each other, communication, leadership and conflict management. So these are a few of the clients of motivational maps, the household names that you recognise. So systems, a few of my clients, a few of this is an interesting one. It's a homeless charity in Chelmsford I'm working with. Really great to work with them. The CEO of that, very high searcher, so he wants to provide meaning and purpose, also very high builder. He wants to make sure that it's well funded, and I'm getting that convinced. So I will wrap up. A few testimonials there. We've got LSA Systems here. One from Mike, thank you. And that is just about it. If you'd like to know, I've just got to show, and I'm really pleased with this animation for that. So, any questions?
Looks like a more detailed, a more practical take on wealth dynamics.
Wealth dynamics is more like, I mean, you've got personality profile. Personality is very static, doesn't change much over a lifetime, whereas motivation is very dynamic. It changes very rapidly. People said it'd be very different from that from 2 years ago or 10 or 15 years ago when they first started their business.
Is this the kind of thing that becomes more accurate the more you do it? So imagine the first time you do that questionnaire, you've got to put down what you think.
Not necessarily. It's because motivation changes over time. It's a case of measuring it and then enacting change. So it doesn't improve in accuracy over time, but you're able to.
I think you might be more honest if they're doing a questionnaire.
It's actually very difficult to cheat it because it's excessive. So it's comparing one thing to another. And some people do try and cheat it and they just go down the middle. It's very obvious when they've just gone down the middle the whole time. I had somebody do that recently. It's like, so how long does it take you to do this? For about 4 minutes. Yeah, good question. Scott.
Two-pronged question. Could you give us an example of the cost for me as my little essentially one-man business to do that versus a cost, and I'll use Matt as an example, to go in and he's a 10-person agency.
So it's basically £300 per person. That includes the map, the report, the debrief, the strategies, and the motivational action plan going forward. And then the team motivational map basically depends on the size of the team. But that sort of team, you're looking at somewhere between £600 to £2,000, depending on the size of the team. We can do workshops, we can do all sorts of things. So it depends on the size of the problem and what needs to be solved and how much time it's going to take.
What led to you and the Royals being so swearing?
I got to Prince Charles, this was years ago. I was going out with the girls in Cornwall, the Duchy of Cornwall, and he was there. We were building a fence one day, and he hit his knee with a hammer and he swore. Princess Anne, I tripped over a cable and said, "Who the put that there?" And, huge was, It wasn't off with my head. Jay?
Using this tool for a larger company, you could possibly identify somebody who is so dangerous in bringing down the yes. Do you end up recommending that?
We will never go into a company. If we're asked to go in to recommend who should be made redundant, we will not do that. We will go in and we might to look at who should be promoted, who should step up, whatever. Yes, there might be discussions about whether the person's in the wrong role or possibly in the wrong company, but we wouldn't make recommendations as such. It's not what it's designed for.
Right. Toby, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Toby, for that. I always feel when I listen to you that somebody's stood in front of me with a machine gun. However, you got it over brilliantly. Thank you very much for that. Right. Oh, thank you, Tina. I can see now. We are now at the referrals and testimonials stage. Toby's running, or standing still at the moment, but will be. We start with the naughty corner and work our way around here.
Thank you for that. And welcome to our visitors. Up to you again. And referral for Terry.
Well, so that's fascinating. And that's a referral for Aidan. I'm not sure I've got the surname right. She just walked into the office asking questions. And I emailed you about it.
Can I approach her directly while I'm waiting?
No, so I didn't get her phone number.
Okay.
Thanks for having us here. I need to get my name signed written, so if anyone has any contacts and that sort of thing, that would be much appreciated. And
appreciate that. Thank you.
No, that was brilliant. I'm fascinating actually. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, thank you for explaining a little bit more. Lovely to hear from you as always. And I've got a referral for Ben Gold.
Ben, yeah. I think you don't get points if you don't write Ben.
Great meeting as always. Thank you very much for coming. Very interesting as always. Hopefully everyone's got a one-star booked in. Other than that, great meeting this morning.
Touching on how to say that, being a big company, you get an email once a year, tick box. Answer these questions. Are you happy with your manager?
Yeah.
And you know that it's going to be said to your manager. So
Yes, everyone goes to me.
what do you want? More money, more holiday. That's it. So that going into detail would be really interesting to do.
It's interesting. I think we found with Mike that the staff opened up to me in a way that they wouldn't necessarily open up to the managers.
Referral from Jane, which we spoke about earlier. And one-to-one I had with Ben. Seriously?
Thanks, Ben.
I've got a comment to make now.
Thank you very much for making me feel welcome. Everyone, when I was standing in, everyone come in and said hello to me, shook my hand, which makes me feel comfortable as a stranger walking into a new place. So thanks for that. My mate as well, because he needs lots of. Oh, sorry. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
I've known Tony for quite a number of years. Right, what was I going to say next? Thank you to Simon Essex, former member of the group, for his strategic advice with my daughter's job interview, and I'm pleased to say she got the job. Marketing in King's Cross, really exciting opportunity for us. I'm very, very pleased for her. Thank you for the money to Auntie Jane for a little bit of signage, and also thank you for the money to Kevin Radford, where the original referral for these books came from. So that's been a great referral from him. I have thanked him personally.
Yeah, great presentation, totally really clear and yeah, great content as well, really enjoyed that, so thank you. Jane, great head slot, Bradley, Stephen, welcome to you both. Ben, if I could grab you a quick chat afterwards. Emma, I need to come back to your email, I don't know what's wrong, but yes, Jane, there's never coming to you later. I've got some one-to-ones with Jane I had a couple of weeks ago and Tina today, so yeah, otherwise great meeting, see you next week.
Really good. And interesting to know more. And I've known Toby quite a while as well. So that's fine. I've got to thank you for the money. I've got to thank you for the money for Neil. And time to one way to great Ed slot. Great slot and welcome guys. Hopefully we'll see you again and we'd like to join up. See you next week.
Great, Ed Scott J. Toby, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, fascinating subject matter as well. Well done on the Oscar James, very well deserved. Welcome to our two guests, and one-to-one Scott and Matt last week, and that's it. Great meeting everyone, thanks so much. Yeah, really fascinating presentation, thank you Toby. I'd like to find out some more. Kieran, I've got myself down on the list to house some Ukrainians. My in-laws have done the same, and they've just housed a Ukrainian architect who's local and looking for work. Okay. Have a bit of a chat. Yeah. Maybe let's do something. Sarah, very good friend of mine, is retiring. There could be something that could work out. She's worked head of bank for a number of years, and she wants to go into teaching people, young people, or old people about money. That's that. Mike, thank you very much for Mary. She is changing her mortgage around. John, stuff at my gaff, one-to-one, and stuff all starting. Thank you for the money to a couple of ex-members.
Yeah, brilliant presentation. Yeah, really, really good. Fascinating. I'd like to know a little bit more. So we need to get our one-to-one in booked in, so I can learn a little bit more about it. But Jane's brilliant episode. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. As always, with you, we're in safe hands. Big welcome to our visitors. Great to see Stephen again. Yeah, great to see you back. And Bradley, welcome. Welcome. I hope you come back again. So I've got a referral there for Hannah, who's not here, but we've got a meeting tomorrow. So we're going to sort of follow up on that, get that sorted. So going to return that to James for our one-to-one yesterday. And the referral that Emma gave me has already been done, so thank you for the money to Emma. Thank you very much.
First of all, big thank you for not giving me too much dick. I want to. That's when I come, Scott is like, just know what to expect. Yeah, thanks for your presentation. I find it fascinating, you know I do. Right, I've got a referral for Terry. I'd like to speak to you quickly afterwards, if that's all right. I'm going to leave the work for myself. And thank you to Howard for that referral to Oliver. We're still trying to meet, but I think he's on the net, so thank you very much. Nice to see the visitors. See you all next week.
You never know what he's going to say.
Jane, I ain't got a clue about the Ed slot, but I thought your 60 seconds was the best ever because it really hit a spot that you hadn't hit before, which I thought was really, really good. And Toby, yeah, Sarah found it absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it's a brilliant presentation. I now know we can also add. Do you frame these charts?
I can do.
You can put them on the wall.
Yeah,
cool.
Anything can be done for a price.
It's nice to be back. It's good to see a couple of trades at the group. Hopefully you come back and maybe get signed up. I've got quite a few referrals, one-to-ones, but I ain't putting them in today because it's the end of the month. And I want to try and win next month. So I'll see you all next week. It's nice to be back to things.
Scott's face was saying he wasn't enjoying that comment. Yeah, really enjoyed that time. That was brilliant. Very slick presentation as well. Very impressive. Yeah, Jane, great one to her. And while I'm on that, that's a thank you for the money to Jane. That's about it. Let's speak to you all next week.
Well done, Toby, really interesting. I've got a couple of HR consultants who I can deal with, maybe I'll give you a detail. They're behind, I don't know what level they're at, but have a chat with them. And yeah, great presentation, really enjoyed it. Brilliant. Welcome to Stephen and Bradley. Great to see you both. Have a nice little chat with you. If you want anyone punching, let me know. He knows what we're talking about. It's a testimony for Tina. She was late last week. Tina looked after things, phones, everything. Very AB. Thank you very much for doing that. Paul DeLue spoke briefly. My clients are in a bit of a hole, and I've told them not to dig any deeper, just probably give advice. Paul's going to help fill the hole in, aren't you, Paul?
Something like that.
James can have a look on PI insurance. We're working on that over the next couple of months, hopefully. And Scott, yeah, I'll do that, speeding up the website thing. Thank you. Very good. Open armour.
Yeah, I'll show you this. I'll just say great stop. Great 10 minutes. Yeah, great stop, great 10 minutes. I'll see you all next week.
Great slot. Really interesting. I'm not sure I can use it, but really interesting. Emma, nice balls going up around the direction.
I've seen that.
Yeah. I'm making a note. Don't make things else. I can really validate everything that Toby said about the maps. It was a real eye-opener for us when we did the start. Unfortunately, this was testing listening. Unfortunately, I'm Nigel from now on. Bradley, Stephen, welcome. Hope you come back again. Worthwhile. Howard, I'd like to get a one-to-one sometime. But maybe we'll arrange that next week. Yeah. Or tomorrow even.
Oh, you first?
Go on, ladies first.
So that was a lovely meeting, thank you. There are some 10-minute sessions that I wish would be an hour. And then I could do that was really interesting. Well done to me, Marcus. Here's the one-to-one with Hannah, but she's like she's shielding because she's going on a cruise and is really afraid. They test you 2 weeks in advance and so on, so she's concerned about COVID, bless her. And Bradley and Stephen, marvellous. Lovely to see you again. Well done. And by the way, £6 each or 2 for 10.
It's funny you say that. That is actually a 20-minute presentation, which condensed. That's why I was talking so fast. John Hammer's not here, but he's given me a quote for new security cameras because ours have stopped working. Great next slot. A lot of, it's a coincidence that we were talking about some of the same stuff. And my next slot, I was going to be talking about information chunking, which we talked about today. I might go into more detail. Good to see you again, Stephen, and good to see you again, Bradley. We met a couple of months ago, I think it was. Good to get one. I think that's it. Yes. By my front door, I have 2 bottles of wine.
Oh.
And 2 boxes of chocolates. I was going to have such a choice, and
It's all right, we will remember who wins it.
Yeah.
Next week.
I need longer arms. Howard Bullock.
Red
or white?
White, please.
Wine or chocolate?
White.
Toby, thank you very much for doing the running. Thank you for your great 10 minutes. Scott, I think you're going to do a quick overview of previous
A referral reality check, just to make sure that these aren't it's plain past for nothing. First is from Toby to Neil. Sources for me. Done. Paul D to Vincent. I need more business cards.
I will give you a call when I've got some time.
Is that from last week or? Is that from last week?
Yeah, well, it was from last week.
Yeah.
Now Nick's not here today, but Nick put in a referral to Terry, legal advice for defective retaining wall. When legal, we know that, don't we? That's
In hand.
in hand. Last one then, from Tina Swaden, Catherine Hill, please help. Employment law.
Yeah, spoken to her, dealt with it. Yeah.
Terrific, thank you.
Thank you very much, Scott. Right, we're now at the stage when I look out the window and say, well, it's quite bright out there, and I'll be sending you out there shortly. But before I do, anybody want to make any announcements to the group? See, we're missing Richard Reed already, aren't we? Okay, well, I will simply finish by thanking you all for turning up. Thank you all for making it a really good meeting. And we're 22 today with our 2 visitors. We'd like to see our visitors back again. And 23 now, because, so yes. 22 and a half. Yes. Right. So that really brings us to the end of the meeting. I'll send you away. Be careful out there, and I'll see you next week.